What's the hard truth about success that most people avoid to hear, but they need to hear early on?
It's so hard. It is so hard to succeed. And people hate to hear that, but guess what?
Was there anybody to support you on that journey?
There was a lot of people that doubted me, and that didn't help. And that's just a reality of life.
Was there one surprising habit or a mindset shift that you've seen that people who are successful and coming to your podcast have so that you mirror to yourself?
Three things: productivity, discipline, and focus. That's what successful people possess.
How do you make decisions now differently than before?
When I started, everything was a yes. Now I say no to everything.
What's the brutal mistake you see nowadays podcasters make?
They say, oh, wow, look at that podcast. They're interviewing entrepreneurs. I'm going to do the exact same thing.
What's something what every entrepreneur has to write down and to never forget?
Put in the reps.
So, thank you so much for being here. I really want to ask you today so many questions which inspired me and probably many others who listen to this episode. My first question to you is, you interviewed thousands of entrepreneurs. What's the hard truth about success that most people avoid to hear, but they need to hear early on?
It's so hard. It is so hard to succeed. And people hate to hear that, but guess what? The hardness, the difficulty, the challenge, that is the beauty of entrepreneurship. Because if it wasn't hard, everybody would be doing it and nobody would be successful. The higher the barrier to entry, the lower the competition. The barrier to entry of a successful entrepreneur is really hard. And that's a good thing because almost everybody gives up before they find success. So as long as you're not one of those people that gives up, you are going to find that success. It's just a matter of how and when. And that is the process. So yes, it's really flipping difficult. Nobody likes to hear it. But if it wasn't difficult, everybody would be doing it and nobody would be successful.
I love to hear that. And can you tell me one of the situations which was difficult for you on your journey? Was this something with your mindset, or was this something that you couldn't find somebody to support you on your journey, or something else?
It was the imposter syndrome. It's the imposter syndrome because we are humans. In humans, we are innately trained to doubt ourselves, to have fear, anxiety, and stress of failing. That is what humans have deep in our DNA, deep in our genome. That is there to protect us, to save us from making bad decisions of just like jumping off a cliff or running out of a dark cave at night and getting eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. Our ancestors didn't do those things because they had fear, doubt, anxiety, and stress. We still are wired the exact same way. So when I started my podcast 13 years ago, I was like, who am I to interview people? I'm not good at interviewing people because I've never done it before. I'm not a good communicator, facilitator of conversations. I was bad at all of those things. But then I thought to myself, how does one become good at something? Oh, by doing that thing over and over and over again. And Nick, I've been doing a daily podcast for 13 years. That's 4,687 episodes. So guess what? I've gotten really, really good at my craft because I've put in the reps. I do it every day. So of course you're going to have doubts, fear, stress when you start. Of course you're going to be bad when you start. Who's good at something when they start something for the first time? Nobody. LeBron James was not a good basketball player when he started playing basketball. He put in thousands of hours. I've put in thousands of hours. Find your thing and then put in your time.
Was there anybody to support you on that journey?
There's a lot of people that doubted me, and that didn't help. And that's just a reality of life. People are like, oh, that's risky. You should just take the safe route and do X or Y or Z. Because in a lot of ways, by the way, they're not bad people and they're not necessarily consciously hoping the worst for you. But here's a little secret. Subconsciously, a lot of people in your life who care about you don't want you to succeed. There's multiple reasons for that. One reason is because they're worried if you succeed, you'll forget about them and they don't want to lose you. Number two, they're worried if you succeed, then they'll say, wow, John took a big risk and he succeeded. And look at him now. I did not take a big risk. I played it safe and I'm still in the same crappy job that I hate, living paycheck to paycheck, not enjoying life. And that's FOMO. That's fear of missing out. Like they missed out on doing something because they didn't take a risk. And guess what? If they had taken a risk, they might have failed and they might be in a worse position than they started with. That's the reality of life. That is what's called risk and reward. But that's another reason why you have a lot of doubters. So I went out, Nick, and I found my people. I went out and I joined a mastermind. I went out and I hired a mentor. What did that do? That cost me money, but it put people in my corner. Yes, I was paying them, but I put people in my corner who believed in me, who were helping me, who were pushing me forward. That's why I end every single one of my podcasts. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You want to spend time with 5 unmotivated, toxic, sad, pessimistic people? That's you. That's who you are too. You want to spend time with 5 healthy, exercising, going to bed early, waking up early, optimistic, happy, successful people? That's you. That's what you're going to do because they're going to bed at 9 p.m. What are you going to do? You're going to go to bed at 9 p.m. because you got nobody to hang out with. Then you wake up early, you go for a walk, you take in the sun, and all of a sudden things start falling into place.
Very powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Was there one surprising habit or a mindset shift that you've seen that people who are successful and coming to your podcast have so that you mirror to yourself?
3 things: productivity, discipline, and focus. That's what successful people possess. Successful people have one of those at least. Really successful people have 2 of them. Incredibly successful people have all 3. What does productivity mean? That means they are producing the right content every single day. What does discipline mean? It means they have a plan of action and they are a disciple to executing that plan of action every single day. What does focus mean? It means they are following one course until success. They're not trying 5 different things and doing okay at those 5 things because nobody wants somebody that's okay at doing something. They want somebody who's amazing at that one thing. If you have brain cancer, do you want to go to a pediatrician who's pretty good at a bunch of medical things? Or do you want to go to the best brain surgeon in the world? Obviously, we all know the answer to that. So become the best at whatever it is that you're going to do. I wrote a book. You could sum up my book in one sentence. Become the number one solution to a real problem in a growing industry. If you do that, you're going to win.
That's very powerful. Can you tell me how do you make decisions now differently than before when the stakes are big and high? How this shaped you?
So when I started, everything was a yes. I said yes to everything because I didn't know. I wanted to learn. I wanted to fail. I wanted to struggle and succeed and all the things in the middle. So I said yes to everything. Now I say no to everything because I have too many opportunities coming my way and I have to just focus on what I know is already working. So I say no to everything. But guess what? That's John year 0 saying yes to everything. And now this is John year 13 saying no to everything. Where are you in your journey? That's what you have to think about. If you're at year 0, you should be saying yes to everything. If you're at year 4, I started saying no to some things at that point. It was like this kind of tipping point that I slowly got to. It wasn't like I went from yes to everything, no to everything overnight. It was a gradual process. It took me 10 years to essentially get to know for most things, if not all things. So it's just a slow, smooth process.
Very, very good share, and I love it. I read somewhere that you said that discipline equals freedom. Can you share with me a daily system or a ritual that make the biggest difference in your success, even when motivation isn't there?
Discipline equals freedom. You just execute on your plan of action. And that's very freeing because guess what? I want to be healthy. Without health, you have nothing. The healthy person wants 1,000 things. The unhealthy person wants one thing, just to be healthy. So when you're healthy, the world is your oyster. So what do? I want to take 10,000 steps a day. I want to be outside. I want to be in the sun, in the fresh air. I want to eat the right food. So what do? I wake up every morning at 6 a.m. and I immediately, before I even think, I'm already outdoors on a 3-mile walk. It's just a non-negotiable. Wow. So it never never not happens. And I mean 0%, 365 days a year. That is happening. I don't care if it's raining out. It's flipping happening. Cry me a river, you little baby. It's raining out. God, people are so soft. So I get out there and I put my steps in. I come in, I shower, I sit right at this desk. It's 7:15 a.m. and I do my daily video. And that by the time 8 a.m. hits, I have already done more meaningful work than most people do all day. Most people are still sleeping at 8 a.m. I've already done more work than they'll do all day because I have discipline and they don't.
Amazing routine. You built one of the most successful podcasts in the world, and there is no fluff around that. What's the brutal mistake you see nowadays podcasters make when they're trying to rise their podcast?
They say, oh, wow, look at that podcast. They're interviewing entrepreneurs. I'm going to do the exact same thing. And then they become a pale, weak imitation of all the other shows that are out there doing the exact same thing. Guess what? It's really easy to do a podcast. And that's a problem, as I was speaking about at the beginning. When things are easy, it's not worth doing. It's easy to do a podcast interviewing people. It's really, really easy. So everybody does it and nobody's successful because everybody's copying each other. And they're just there's so many shows that's so saturated, they never have success. It's the people that sit up and say, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to create a show around this really tiny niche topic that nobody's talking about, that nobody's focusing on, that I know I love. And there's other people out there that love it, but not enough where there's all this content being created around it. And I'm going to dominate that niche. Those people are winning at a high level. Everybody that's probably going to interview me today, because I'm doing 10 other interviews today, they're probably all going to ask me the same 10 questions, and it'll be the same, interview will go out all around, and none of them will succeed because none of them are doing anything unique. None of them are doing anything special. And that's just the reality.
As this mic will shut down in around 60 seconds, I want to ask you, what is something what every entrepreneur has to write down and to never forget?
Put in the reps. Of course, you're not good at anything right now that you haven't done before because you haven't put in the reps. You want to be a course creator? Go create 100 courses. You want to get good at AI? Go spend 6 hours a day, 7 days a week on AI. Coding, sports, knitting, music, fill in the blank. Figure out a plan for you and then go be great at that one thing.
Thank you so much, John.